Are you lying awake at night, considering moving into a nursing home, or worrying that your children won't be able to care for you properly? 3 months. That's how long I lasted in what was supposed to be my forever home. 3 months before I made the difficult decision to leave my nursing home and reclaim what remained of my independence. I'll share 7 truths about elder care that I discovered only after surrendering my home, most of my possessions, and a significant portion of my life savings. Truths that marketing brochures conveniently omit, and that many seniors learn far too late. This isn't about condemning all nursing homes. Many provide essential care for those who truly need it. This is about sharing elderly wisdom that might help you make a more informed decision than I did. I'm Vernon, and today I'm sharing why I left my nursing home after just 3 months, and the 7 truths about elder care that informed my decision. Making decisions about our later years is perhaps one of life's most complex challenges. And just wait until you hear truth number 5. It completely transformed how I view the entire nursing home industry and helped me understand why my experience diverged so dramatically from what was promised. I believe you will too, because this truth affected my mental health so much. What I'm about to share comes not from research or secondhand accounts, but from my lived experience in what was considered a premium nursing home facility. Why do nursing home realities often differ so dramatically from their marketing? If this exploration of elderly wisdom about nursing homes resonates with you, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and watch this video until the end. Now, let's begin with the first truth about nursing homes that led to my departure. The first truth about elder care that drove me from my nursing home after just 3 months is what I call the autonomy illusion, the vast gap between promised independence and regimented reality. As Rousseau observed, man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. Nowhere felt this truer than in my nursing home, where marketing promised independent living with support, but delivered rigid institutionalization. Despite paying for a premium independence package, I immediately lost control over my daily rhythms. Meals were served at fixed times. Miss them, and you simply don't eat. Medications came on the facility's schedule, not mine. Even showers were assigned to specific days and times. When I requested breakfast later than 7 a.m., as I'd done my entire adult life, I was told it was against protocol because it would disrupt the schedule. Most was how quickly I became labeled difficult for requesting to maintain lifelong habits. Wanting an unaccompanied walk outside was treated as rebellious, despite my sound condition. Elena, 75, a once vibrant woman who had become depressed when I met her in the nursing home, shared that she was almost obsessed with mealtime bells. The staff would get upset when we finished our meals so late. Have you experienced this loss of autonomy? Share below to help others navigate these decisions. The second truth that hastened my nursing home departure involves what I call the hidden financial drain, numerous unspecified costs beyond the quoted monthly fee. I was quoted a comprehensive monthly fee, supposedly covering everything you'll need. Within weeks, I received additional charges for personal assistance services I hadn't requested, medication management fees beyond medication costs, transportation surcharges for medical appointments, activity participation fees for programs advertised as included, dietary accommodation charges for simple food preferences, excessive laundry fees based on subjective determinations. Most troubling was level creep, the facility reclassifying residents as needing higher care levels with substantially increased costs, often based on questionable assessments. I watched Anna, a neighbor, reclassified to level 2 care, $1,200 monthly increase, after simply asking for help opening a jar. Her protests were dismissed with references to professional assessment protocols never disclosed in any contract. Have you encountered hidden nursing home costs? Share this video to help others discover these important warnings. The third truth that drove me from my nursing home concerns medication management, where promises and practices diverged disturbingly. Before admission, I managed 5 medications independently at specific times my doctor and I had carefully calibrated to minimize side effects and optimize effectiveness. The facility promised to maintain this schedule. Within days, reality struck. My medication schedule was completely reorganized to match the facility's standard distribution times: 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m., regardless of medical optimality. When I expressed concerns about taking medications at inappropriate times, I was told individualized schedules were not possible due to staffing constraints. More troubling was discovering residents receiving sedating medications in the early evening, not from medical necessity, but because it made nighttime staffing easier when residents slept deeply. Most alarming was losing connection with my personal physician. The facility's doctor, who had never met me, began making medication adjustments without consulting either me or my longtime physician. When I objected, I was told this was standard protocol. I had the opportunity to hear from Mary, a 75-year-old former nurse who had worked there. The nursing home has a system of replacing previous individual medication regimens, carefully recalibrated for organizational convenience. When she raised concerns about side effects from the replacement medications, her other colleagues said that it was the way things were done there. New side effects were addressed with additional medications rather than being allowed to follow the previous individual regimen. Remember, get medication protocols in writing before admission. The fourth truth that drove me from my nursing home concerns the social environment, where marketing promises and reality diverged most dramatically. Reality proved starkly different. Instead of the diverse community of engaged seniors in marketing materials, I found a passive environment where meaningful interaction was rare. The robust activity calendar consisted largely of infantilizing diversions, bingo, simplistic crafts, and occasional entertainment that rarely stimulated engagement. Substantive activities like current events discussions were poorly attended, if offered at all. Most troubling was the institutional disregard for cognitive differences. People with vastly different cognitive abilities were grouped together for activities and dining, treating those with significant impairment and those with full function as a homogeneous group, diminishing everyone's experience. Let me share a concrete example that illustrates this fourth truth about nursing home social environments. One Tuesday afternoon, I participated in what the activity calendar grandly described as Current Affairs Discussion Group in the main lounge at 2 p.m. When I attempted to introduce a topic about the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision that had been announced that morning, the facilitator appeared uncomfortable and quickly redirected the conversation to whether anyone had watched last night's reality television show. This wasn't an isolated incident. A 2019 study published in The Gerontologist found that only 12% of nursing home activities involved substantive cognitive engagement, with researchers documenting that residents with high cognitive function regularly experienced what they termed intellectual understimulation, a factor linked to accelerated cognitive decline. Remember, visit facilities unannounced at different times to observe actual social dynamics before committing. The fifth truth that drove me from my nursing home concerns the massive gap between promised care quality and daily reality. a discrepancy profoundly affecting residents' well-being. Despite marketing claims of personalized attention and dedicated caregivers, I quickly discovered the fundamental challenge: impossible staffing ratios. My facility maintained one aide for every 10 to 12 residents during day shifts, dropping to one for 15 to 18 evenings, and plummeting to one for 20 to 25 overnight. This translated to long wait times for assistance, sometimes 30+ minutes for bathroom help, rushed essential care interactions, and focus on completing tasks rather than attending to the person. Perhaps most concerning was the high staff turnover, exceeding 40% annually, meaning we constantly adapted to new caregivers unfamiliar with our needs. The consistent care team promised during admission was actually a revolving door of undertrained personnel working for minimum compensation. For example, one Tuesday morning, I needed assistance with the bathroom, a basic need that the facility promised would receive prompt attention. I pressed my call button at 9:15 a.m. No response. I pressed again at 9:25 a.m. Nothing. When I finally received help at 9:50 a.m., 35 minutes after my initial call, this wasn't an unusual day. It was typical. The facility's brochure had prominently featured the promise: assistance available within minutes, 24 hours a day. The truth isn't about blaming individual staff members who work admirably in challenging conditions. It's about recognizing systemic limitations that make promises of personalized care unattainable. Share this video to help others discover these important warnings. The sixth truth that drove me from my nursing home concerns the unexpected isolation from family, contradicting explicit promises made during admission. The marketing emphasized family integration and open visitation, suggesting facility living would maintain or enhance family connections. Reality proved dramatically different. Despite no official restrictions, practical barriers emerged immediately. Inconvenient parking, uncomfortable visitor spaces, lack of privacy, and an institutional atmosphere subtly discouraged families from coming or staying long. More troubling was the facility's approach to family involvement in care decisions. Despite promises of family partnership, decisions were often made without family input, with relatives merely informed afterward. When my daughter questioned a medication change, she was treated as interfering rather than as an essential advocate. The distance from family proved cumulative. Visits became less frequent, not from diminished caring, but from subtle barriers making meaningful connection difficult. A 68-year-old resident next door to me, Stefan, shared, "The true cost isn't measured just in dollars, but in human connection." His children visited less, not because they cared less, but because the environment made authentic interaction nearly impossible. Their conversations revolved around care complaints rather than family connection. He left primarily to reclaim those relationships before institutional walls became permanent emotional barriers. Have you experienced similar family disconnection in institutional settings? Share below in the comments. The seventh and most profound truth that drove me from my nursing home addresses what I call the dignity cost, the subtle but pervasive erosion of personhood in institutional settings. Kant wrote that humans should be treated never merely as a means to an end, but always as an end. My experience revealed how this principle is consistently compromised in nursing homes. Within days, I noticed staff calling me sweetie or dear instead of my name. My preferences became behaviors, my concerns became complaints, and reasonable requests were labeled difficulties. My 67-year career, education, and lifetime experiences became instantly irrelevant. My identity is reduced to medical conditions, assistance needs, and compliance with routines. The setting prioritizes efficiency over dignity. being discussed in third person while present, she needs her medication, having personal space entered without permission, receiving intimate care with minimal acknowledgement. The cumulative effect was profound diminishment. Most painful was seeing residents who asserted their dignity subtly penalized through delayed responses or being labeled problematic. Mr. White, an 85-year-old former judge who had left the facility, told me, after a lifetime of being addressed with respect, he found himself suddenly infantilized, his decisional authority undermined, his preferences dismissed, his very identity as a competent adult questioned. When he objected to being called sweetie by a staff member young enough to be his granddaughter, he was told too sensitive. He realized then that the greatest cost of institutional living wasn't financial, but the surrender of his fundamental dignity. I believe this dignity cost is the most significant yet least discussed aspect of nursing home care. Have you experienced this erosion of personhood in institutional settings? Share below to help others prepare. As we conclude our exploration of the 7 truths about elder care that led me to leave my nursing home after just 3 months, I want to emphasize that these observations aren't meant to suggest that nursing homes never provide appropriate care. For individuals with certain medical needs, they may be necessary and even beneficial. Rather, my purpose in sharing this elderly wisdom is to illuminate aspects of nursing home reality that marketing materials typically obscure, insights that might help you or your loved ones make more informed decisions about later life. Care arrangements. These 7 truths about autonomy limitations, hidden financial costs, medication management realities, social environment myths, care quality gaps, family isolation, and dignity costs collectively create a picture of institutional living that differs dramatically from marketing portrayals. Had I known then what I know now, I would have approached my later life care planning very differently. I would have explored alternatives like aging in place with appropriate support services, co-housing arrangements with shared assistance, or smaller, more personalized care settings. I would have asked far more specific questions about daily realities rather than accepting marketing assurances. Most importantly, I would have spoken with current and former residents outside the presence of facility staff. I invite you to learn from my experience rather than repeating it. If you're considering a nursing home for yourself or a loved one, look beyond the physical amenities and glossy brochures. Visit unannounced at different times of day. Speak with residents privately if possible. Ask specific questions about the issues we've discussed today. The decisions you make about later life care profoundly impact not just comfort and safety, but dignity and meaning in your remaining years. If you found value in these insights about nursing home realities, please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming video on alternative elder care options, creating dignity-preserving solutions. I'd love to hear which of these 7 truths resonated most strongly with you, or if you've had experiences, either similar or different, in nursing home settings. Leave a comment below sharing your perspective. Your insights might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of elderly wisdom about nursing home realities. And don't forget to like, share this video with anyone in your circle who might be facing decisions about later life care.